Hey, it's the Commander Smiths. I'm Lowry Smith, doing Switcheroo here. Tonight we're gonna go over 6 decks, try and make it pretty quick. Um, we whatever's in the title, we'll do that. Commander Smiths is a weekly podcast that records live Monday night, and then we release it on all audio spots on Wednesday morning, afternoonish. And we also do a bunch of shorts, some called curated MTG. Adam has started What Card Gets You Hard, and it's picking out which art you like best for a certain magic card. Um, we mainly focus on Commander, and then we also do a little bit of finance. We talk secret layers and stuff like that. If that is something that you enjoy, that would be great. Totally suggest hitting the subscribe button. We have a big giveaway to try and get to 1,000 people subbing. And once we hit 1,000, that will unlock the giveaway. You want to go find that video of ours, and then you can make your comments on what you want to get. We have I don't know, like 7 different levels of to give away. So that'd be fun if we could get that done here quick enough. So, yeah, tonight basically got a stack of, couple cards that I want to try and fit into a deck. Have a magic weekend coming up here mid-February. And it's not gonna be like the last couple switcheroos. I just want to try and fit them in, and I'll go kind of as quick as I can since I have 6 of them. And that is that. So, let's start with Feather. Feather is awesome. If you haven't played against them, avoid them, and if you have them, keep them. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. It's a crazy card. Some cards I want to try and fit in there. Let's see here. All right, these two. Divine Reckoning is a wrath that will leave Feather around. This is basically instant speed, tricky Voltron deck, essentially. So if you can leave Feather around, you're doing good. Same thing with Promise of Loyalty. I had these cards in my Glen deck for the longest time, and I try and not overlap the cards unless I have to. And so since I killed off Glen, I'm going to try and fit this into Feather and see if that works there. Some other cards. I got a lot in here. Okay. Let's see if some others. I run Reckoning in my Gallia Kindler of Hope deck. It is solid. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Sphinx Bone Wand at 7 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on Sphinx Bone Wand. If you do, it deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on a target creature or player. Just another. I kind of decided to fit this into more of a surround damage burn package, kind of. So we'll see if that can fit in there. 7 mana is kind of a stretch. Swiftfoot Boots foil, that is already in there. Just looking to replace it. Blister Split Gremlin taps to deal 1 damage to each opponent. You kind of see what's going on here. This deck does not suck, and I lost anyway when you played against it, Renshai, so that's fine. But Blister Split Gremlin, like I said, that surround damage, trying to go for it a bit more. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then I do not have, Jesus, what is this one? It's the Jessica's Will. There we go. It's Jessica's Will. If you don't know, we run proxies. Adam makes them. We give them to our patrons of certain levels. So we do have a Patreon, and for $1, you can join our Discord, which is super sweet, awesome. A lot of nice guys there. And then that's it. So I'm going to try and fit these 6 into the deck. Oh, no, just kidding. There's another stack of cards that I'm going to want to try and get in there. Okay. Explosive Entry. Destroy up to 1 target artifact. Put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. So that is putting counters on my creature. And so I get to bring that back and also destroying artifacts. So repetitive artifact removal is solid, sweet, and awesome. Raise the Effigy. Destroy target artifact. And then it's you only choose 1, so I don't think this is going to go make it in there. but it can +2/+2 until end of turn, instant speed. Ancestral Anger. Sorcery, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is no. It basically gives +1/+0 trample and draw a card. Repeat that. It need more draw on this. Ardent Elementalist. ETBs bring an instant or sorcery back into my hand. Not a bad deal. Arm the Cathars. You only lost because you weren't paying attention because it was the end of the night and last year's SmithCon. That's true. SmithCon is planned, so that's happening. I was tired. That was a long day. A lot of fun, but a long day. And I don't know about you. You were going off, I'm pretty sure. Until end of turn, target creature gets +3/+3. Up to one other target creature gets +2/+2, and one other creature gets +1/+1. And they gain vigilance until the end of turn. I doubt this will make this as well, but want to try. And then I was thinking Grape Shot a little bit because I can deal 1 damage, storm it off, and then have the last copy deal 1 damage to one of my creatures and get it back. Maybe a little bit stuff going on. Do you play Gutter Snipe in that deck? I believe so. Well, we'll get to it. No, Josh. You serious? It's the same weekend? Does it happen to be in Minnesota? I am so sorry. North Carolina? Oh, duh. All right. Just gonna go through and see if there's something that could fit in there in this stead. Remember, I want to get Swiftfoot Boots foil in there. Defiant Strike draws me a card. God's Willing is something. It's a protection card, but it is only a scry 1, so I'm willing to add something. It's Black Rising, looking to put it in there potentially. But the scry part, I'm willing to get rid of just for more draw. Sentinel Tower I put in last time, pretty sweet. Keeper of the Cord, I'm pretty light on creatures, so this helps out a lot. Swords, Knight of the White Orchid is some nice ramp. Scavenger Grounds. Kessid's Flame Breaker, that is that damage, so I want to keep that. Plains, Follow the Hammer is an awesome removal card because you pump up, you're drawing cards with Feather, and then you have it deal damage to a creature. You get to continue to do that. Deep Gnome Terramancer. No, I do not have Deep Gnome in here. That is in my Kenrith deck, which we will see in 2 weeks. And I don't have any proxies of that. It's a good card in any white deck, though, right? But my Kenrith deck is a forced landfall, anti-landfall deck. So Deep Gnome is perfect in there. And I know that might not make sense, but if you check it out in 2 weeks, you'll see what's going on. I love that deck. So Livewire Lash deals 2 damage whenever this creature is targeted. It does a lot of work. Burgie creates a red. You're casting a lot of little stuff, so it just ramps you hard. Prismatic Vista. Yeah. Island Sanctuary. Talk about a teaser. It's been a while since I worked on Kenrith, but it's a fun one. I mean, I could switch out one of these decks and put Kenrith in tonight. Um, maybe we'll see where things are going because I think there's a handful in there, and also depends on when I'm getting done. So if I'm still going at 11, then I'm gonna keep it normal. But if I can fit in another deck, that's great because Takasia in 2 weeks is going to be work. That's going to be work. So, Island Sanctuary allows me to skip a draw, and creatures can't attack me unless they have flying. It works in this deck because there should be a lot of drawing. Aria of Flame is similar to Sphinx Bone Wand, but it's giving everybody 10 life. I don't think I really care about it. There's a lot of spells that get cast. So God's Willing is something. The protection is nice. Seize the Day is extra combats with Feather and targeting, so it comes back. Fist of the Flame is a draw, so that's nice. Zada copies those draw spells. It gets crazy. Impact Resonance is something that also has a lot of removal. Dreadhorde Arcanist. This is something that I have not been super pleased about. But you should. You should build. I'm willing to this is one that's kinda come in and out, like, it's fine, it's a blocker. We'll see. We'll get this one out. Angel Fire Ignition, it targets your creature, you get it back, and even if Feather's not out, if you flashback it with Feather, you can choose if it goes into exile or into your hand. So the flashback cards work really well there. Sort of the Animus is some nice ramp. Duger Hedge Mage is pretty good too. Humans are a blast. Oh, Kyler? Yeah, Kyler's brutal. Uh, Talisman. This one scries whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, and then gets +1/+0. Um, I might be willing. Again, it's a 2 mana, like 1/3 that can block early. Plaza of Heroes, land, Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe is great. Anything that's going to give me a ton of mana so I can just use it on other people's turns works a lot. Swiftfoot Boots. Let's switch that in out the other way. Get that foil in there. Looking pretty. +3/+1 and scry. We'll hold out the scry. Ash Barrens. Sheltering Light is another protection scry one. We're gonna want at least a couple protections and scries, and that's fine if Fell of the Mighty is a wrath that targets. Very nice. Psychosis or Psychotic Fury. Double strike, draw a card, get it back. Dragon Rage Channeler is a Surveil. I'll take Surveil over Scry. It's a little bit more aggressive. Um, Maybe that's why I might like Dread Horde. I'll see if there's some other things that just work with the Dread Horde. Electric Static Field, dealing the damage to everybody. Good old DRC. Yeah, DRC is pretty solid, I think, in here. It allows you to kind of potentially run through lands when you just don't need them. Um, Intimidation Bolt, just see more cards for sure. But um, Intimidation Bolt. So what you can do is 3 damage to your creature to get it back, and then opponent's creatures can't block or attack this turn. Um, it's not a bad. It might be little cute, but it's not a bad like a holy day. Repeatable. It's land. Reckless Rage is great removal in here. Land. Okay, there's another one that puts cards in the yard. Little protection for me. Yeah. Land. Veilstone Amulet is also some protection, which is nice. Darksteel Mirror is great to be able to target with removal stuff. Great blocker. Um, it's actually been quite good for me. Torbrand, I think it's because of all the dealing of the damage, it's going to add 2 more onto that, so it gets good. Thermal Alchemist and Soul's Fire. Fire. Mistfield Plains is good. Loyal Warhound. Antagonize. I don't know if I'm looking for any more right now. I'll have to try and message me in the Discord, Black Horizon. I am not sure which ones those are. So I probably won't remember it, but I can always swing by through the chat here too. Loyal Warhound for ramp, Comet Storm, because on one of those kickers, you target one of your creatures, get it back, do it again. It is brutal. Space Marine ETBs, a land if you're behind. It's not a bad one. 2/1, first strike, vigilance. Land. Boon of Safety is a scry 1 protection. So we'll just have to figure out which ones we like the most. Land Path. Balefire Liege also deals, the direct damage. Yuri Interlude is blinking. I have a lot of creatures that I decided I wanted to have blink. Also, it's repeatable since it targets my creature. Same thing with Chandra's Ignition. It is a targeting Wrath. Stormkiln Artist is nice treasures, like I talked about. Sword of Feast and Famine is nice to untap my lands because I can kind of go through all the instants and sorceries on my turn, untap the lands, and be able to do the instants on everybody else's turns. Silent Arbor slows the opponents down. Expedite is drawing cards. I like it. Um, Land Mavinda allows me to play from the graveyard, so I like that too. Fight as one is indestructible and a pump, but no scry, no draw. Burrow's Charm is protection, but also you just like double strike, and then has a protection up on opponent's turns, which is nice. Wear Tear is something that you could potentially target that mirror. So it's a little thing that could potentially come out since it's not drawing or anything. Sup, hey Zeus. Aurelia's Fury is something that allows you to tap your stuff. More feather. Gutter Snipe, as Renshai was asking, that is in here. Soul Ring, Crimson Wisp for the haste and the draw. Dust Corona makes feather unblockable. Aetherflux Reservoir is basically a burn spell. And Smoldering Egg is potentially nice because of the flip. You can flip it pretty easy, and then you start dealing 2 damage to any target. So another burn aspect of it. So I think I like a little bit of this graveyard stuff. Mavinda's perfect in here. And maybe we just get rid of Dreadhorde Arcanist just for something new. All right, so we're looking at a lot of protection spells a little bit. And maybe I just want one of these. All right. Protection. So we have 4 of those. Those are creatures. Pump, removal. All right, so I'm going to lose some sort of... I had like 3 Wraths in there. I might not want to put these 2, and maybe just that idea goes somewhere else. I like it, but I already have some Wraths in here, so I think maybe we can skip those. Arm the Cathars just seems bad at this point when I'm just looking at everything. Also, raise the FSG just is not going to cut it here at all. I don't think that makes it. All right, let's reorganize a little bit. The protection, which one? Okay, shield counter. Let's see. I am not on Sunforger. I've had it in here before. It's just clunky. I'd rather just draw more cards, if that makes sense. Put a shield counter on. If this would deal damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Yeah, so you can build up a lot of shield counters on him, on Feather, and so it's like a delayed protection. I like that. I like Boon of Safety, I think. Yeah. With Magnetic Theft. That's a good question. I probably have not. I've had both of them in here, but not together. That is true. Yeah. It stops being clunky together. I agree. I probably have not done them together. That's a good point. And I'll probably do Sheltering Light for the Indestructible instead of the Protection. The Protection can kind of get in the way when I'm targeting my creature if I have to like go pro white because of like a Swords or a Path or a Blasphemous Act. I got to go protection from red. It's probably all right. And Fight as one ain't bad, but that's something that can get cut. So I'll keep these 2. And I think I want the draw. Lawrence Escape. Oh, that's from Brothers War. I don't know if I know that one either. Plus Scry 2. Oh, maybe. I was trying to avoid Scry at this point. I think I'm going to do target creature you control gets +1/+1 till end of turn, where X is 1. So +1/+0, trample, and draw a card. Sorcery speed versus instant speed, but drawing a card allows me to do some stuff there, which is nice. I think I'm gonna. I know this seems a little wild. Oh, I don't know about that. No. 1 red draw a card is okay. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go Ancestral Anger at this point. And fight as one is out. Just drawn. Is not a bad thing. Targeting. All right. Let's see here. I think also the removal bit, I'm going to get a little in trouble with enchantments. I'm probably thin there, but I'm going to get rid of wear and tear and add in the explosive entry. Artifacts are just so much more prevalent that repeatedly being able to and consistently able to get rid of an artifact is going to be pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jessica's will has to go in. Like, that's probably actually what I should be thinking about instead of Dread Horde. Like the eight. I don't think Sphinx Bone Wand is going to make it. It's not really replacing anything here. But we're going to get rid of Dread Horde and get Jessica's will in. Nope, I don't even have to get rid of that. It's just something that I should have done a long time ago, and I don't think I even thought about it. No, I'm not going to do Walker. I don't like. I actually don't think Jessica's will is an auto include in red decks. If you're 3 or more colors, I've been burned. Even with Hinata, where I only need like 1 or 2, it's just I had no white open, and I opened up with like three white cards, and I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. Still, are these on here? Okay, I think I can get rid of Intimidation Bolt. Blister Split Gremlin. I'd rather have this one that scries me one. I think I like Grape Shot over Firebrand Archer as well. Yeah, Heroic would be sweet with Feather for sure. The repetition there. All right. I'd probably rather have protection over a pump. And I think I'd rather have Ardent Elementalist over Firebrand Archer. I think I'd rather have this over that. But I think those two. Get rid of the pump and scry and just have damage up the wazoo, potentially being able to mow down a lot of creatures, or if I have Torbran out, be able to do that, and then just I think that'll be all right. And then Intimidation Bolt is out. Again, it's cute, but doing it multiple times is like impossible. And so I have that little bit of flicker in here. I think I'd rather have that to pull something back from the graveyard. That's it. There we are. 20 minutes, not too shabby. Yeah. All right. Move on to the next one. Let's go Zangief. Not nearly as much in this one. 3 colors is a gamble. 1998. Yes. Yes, they are. All right. I got something going on here. Get some water as well. Oh, yeah. If you haven't hit that like button, that would be a great appreciation as well. Yeah, I drink water. I'm drinking water right now. I'm talking a lot. All right. Zangief is pretty sweet. Let's see here. Must be blocked if able. As long as it's your turn, it has indestructible. And whenever Zangief deals extra damage or excess damage to a creature this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. Uh, well, I mean, Josh, you got to remember, I do have to deal with gout, so I got to manage this stuff a little bit, or else I'm going to be in pain. So I need to. I try and only save. I don't drink much other than Monday on the podcast. So I've been a little tight the last couple, about a week at this point. So I'm being extra conscious. Okay, trying to get into Zangief Ogre Battlecaster. 3/3 first strike. It's from the new what's its nuts? I don't remember. Jumpstart. There we go. And then whenever it attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard by paying 2 red in addition to other costs. If the spell would be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. When you cast a spell, Ogre Battlecaster gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. And so we'll see if that gets in there. The Reaver Cleaver is going to create a lot of treasures with Zangief attached. Arcbound, choose target creature, which would be Zangief. Whenever this creature is dealt damage this turn, it deals that much damage to each other creature and each player. It can be damage or problematic because if you have other creatures, it's trouble. Tibalt's Trickery is a little bit of protection in there. And then General Marholt, El's Dragon, 4/4. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. So it just gets bigger and bigger and can always kind of be dealing a lot of stuff. All right, let's go through this deck. See if we can get. We only have roughly 5 that we want to get in, and I know Arcbound is something that just has not made it in the past. It's like a wish and a dream. Mindstone, no, yeah, it's great in there. Uh, maybe. I Trickery's been making it into more decks. Deflection Swat, Forest, Seize the Day, allows Zangief to attack again. Fall of the Hammer, also perfect. Look at that. Very similar to Feather at this start here. But this deals Zangief does the damage with Fall of the Hammer. And so if it's excess, then they gotta sacrifice a non-land, non-creature. Hissing Quagmire, 3 visits. Death Cap Cultivator is ramp in here. There's a Death Touch sub theme, and that helps out with cards like Fall of the Hammer as well. Is it because well, yeah, once I've been trying to fit it into more decks, Renshai, since you used it against me too many times there, like it was traumatic. I don't even add it. That's what I did at first. I didn't even add it. So I never had the chance to cut it. So Cultivator's solid in here. Naeth might be competing with the General Marshalt spot? Question mark. Like Naeth is pretty sweet here because you get to draw off that automatic block, but we'll see. Magar has been problematic. It's been disappointing, as in like. So I think this is what I was going to put in for Ogre Battlecaster. I'd rather just cast the spell from the graveyard rather than turn it into a creature, hope that it hits, stuff like that. I don't do one of the blasts. I don't ever do that. That's just silly. It's not silly. It isn't. Ram 2 is great. Soul Ring, Foul Mare Knight. It draws me a card. Death Touch. Not too bad. Land. Painful Truce for the draw. Land. It's funny, not so because it's a trick. Backdraft Hellkite allows me to cast from the graveyard. So I like that potentially there. Arcane Lighthouse. Deathroot Ritual is another one that's going to draw me cards whenever a creature dies. If a creature dies. So not it's just one time per turn. There's something so satisfying. That is true. Yeah, snuffing a blue counterspell would be really nice. So that's a draw. Extra combat, which is nice. There's a little theme of that in here, just Zangief being able to attack more and deals damage. Season of Growth is not bad in here. Draws a bunch of cards. Bonder's Enclave. Bite Down does the damage. Rishkar's Expertise is crazy in here. Rampant Growth. Madcap Skills. Forces them to block with 2 creatures. Overloaded Rift. Yeah. I could get at him with that. Gives Trample and a Fight. Not too bad. Family's Favor is nice. Protection plus draw. Heroic Intervention. Kusuri Gama. Bolt Bend. So that'd be something. I do have some things in here. So Bolt Bend's really good at protecting Zangief, better than Tibalt's Trickery. Destin gives Indestructible and Allure effect. I think I like that little bit of protection with the lure. The lure is really good. Blazing Sunsteel. Whenever equipped creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. Is Arcbound just better? I have SWAT in here too. There's the potential there with Arcbound. Maybe because it's 3 mana versus like the 6. Maybe this is just too slow. Maybe. Land. Arcane Signet. Chandra's Ignition is very similar to the Arcbound. I think I'm gonna try and fit an Arcbound this time. Farseek, Traverse the Outlands, gets you a lot of land in this one. Caravan Vigil. You're killing their creatures, so you're gonna be able to put a land into play tapped or into play. Read the Bones. Top Wolf Bequeathal is another one that you get to draw 2 cards. You're killing other people's creatures. It works. Land, Swiftfoot Boots, land, ramp, Runes of the Deuce, Double Strike, and Trample for Zangief. Lifelink is really nice with dealing all that damage. Invigorating Hot Springs, giving Zangief the haste is really good. Strionic Resonator, copying that sacrifice trigger is pretty good. Not of This World, another protection because it's counterspell if something is targeting the stuff. If you have a creature with 7 or greater. Or in Frostfang, I don't have that in here because I mean the Death Touch is really nice, but I don't get a lot of creatures, and oftentimes unless Zangief is having Trample, I'm not really drawing a lot of cards either. The Death Touch tends to stay back and defend, and nobody really wants to attack into that. So Frostfang is just a lot for the Death Touch, if that makes sense. Now This World is a nice counterspell, free protection for Zangief when it comes to spot removal. Thrash's damage, doing that. Lure is pretty brutal on a Zangief. An Agent of the Fates is pretty awesome too. 3/2 Death Touch. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Agent of the Fates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So that's pretty nice. It's kind of a tight list. I don't know if I care about that. I think that's going to be a split, and I think that's going to happen. And I wanna try and find a spot for Reaver Cleaver. I just don't know where. Infiltration Lens, Leyline Prowler, Death Touch, taps for mana. It's a little expensive, but it works in the Death Touch idea. Sakura Tribe Elder for ramp. Gift of the Deity, Death Touch, and Lure effect. Morbid Opportunist, drawing off of creatures dying. Gogari Q Rune is another ramp at 3, but also a Death Toucher. Rhythm of the Wild is giving haste. Relentless Assault is that extra combat. Acidic Slime, Death Touch, destroy. Yeah. Tamio's Safekeeping is another green card that gives protection. Sylvan Library. Oh, that could be something. Well. Evercleave, it's not bad, right? It's like I attack with Zangief, flashed in for 5, free equip, 1/1, double strike trample. And then I can reduce it by more. It's the only I like Embercleave a lot. It's the only place I have it. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Chevelle is Death Touch, and then drawing cards off of bounties. Not bad. Knight's Whisper is drawing. I do have a drawing issue, so Nath is probably necessary. Sticky Fingers is there for the menace. Giving Zangief menace forces them to block with 2. Double vision. Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm gonna keep Nath. So Tabalt's doesn't make it. General, Marshall. The Reaver Cleaver doesn't make it. And I think no, I don't think which one's Victimize? Victimize is a sacrifice a creature, bring 2 creatures back from the graveyard, right? Or am I thinking wrong? I'm sorry. Hey, you saw that I had protection in there though. So it's not like it wasn't it's going up against something. Painful Truth. I believe Painful Truth was in there. So yeah, that's in there. The Scry 2 draw 2 and then the Knight's Whisper to draw 2 lose 2. Um kind of excited for the Ogre Battlecaster. That'll be interesting. I was just disappointed with the Magar and that sucked. I thought it would be really cool in here, but all right. Arcbound's probably going to kill me, and the Battlecaster should be cool. Just another one to bring stuff back. All right, that's Zangief. Not too bad at all. That's like 15, 20. Let's see. Just make sure. Yeah. I don't know. Don't know what to do with Reaver Cleaver. Let's go with Verrak. Here. All right. So Verrak is Flying Death Touch, Lifelink, 2/2. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, if life was paid to activate it, you may pay that much life again. If you do, copy that ability. If you may choose new targets for the copy. Deadly Dispute. Is that the one like reveal the top 3 cards, and then they can choose if they want you to put it in your hand or not? Is that like an Ixalan card? All right. Some cards I want to get in Verrak here. Bantu's Monument, not necessary, but it's a nice little like gain a life, lose a life, everybody else type thing. No, sack a dude, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure. Oh, oh, that's not a bad. I, is- I don't know where to put that. I don't disagree with you, Josh, about Deadly Dispute. I had 2, and they were both in decks, but I think I killed both decks. It was in like Will and Mike, at least one of them. Let's see if I have it. Not put away yet. No. Yeah. That's a good point. That's something that I could be. Reckoner's Bargain. Is that the one where it's sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards? I don't have a lot of creatures to sacrifice. So that is something because I think Deadly Dispute allows me to sacrifice an artifact too, or is it just a creature as well? So that could be problematic. Uh oh, maybe I was thinking Village Rites when you were saying Reckoner's Bargain. But maybe they're both very similar cards. Is Reckoner's Bargain from Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty? But basically the same thing. Bantu's Monument reduces black creatures by 1. Okay. All right. And then they lose 1, you gain 1. Street Wraith was just something to it's a free card to draw. I don't think paying 2 I don't think I can pay 2 more to draw 2 cards. I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Yeah, cycling is not necessarily an ability, is it? I don't know. Question mark? Maybe. Which of the Moors? Death Touch for 4. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature, and you return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Not a bad deal. Everybody's sacrificing. Sword of Light and Shadow, bringing creatures back from the graveyard. Exsanguinate was just a big. Everybody loses life. You gain a bunch of life. I was finding. I haven't actually played the deck, but just I pay a lot of life, and so I needed a couple of things that allow me to gain life back. A Hunger of the Ancient One, which is Exquisite Blood. Whenever an opponent loses life, I gain life. So another way to gain that back. Cradle of Vitality. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on target creature and gain 1 for each 1 life gained. I have 2 other cards that are like this in here, and it's pretty sweet to put on Verrak because he just gets huge. Kokusho, the Evening Star, and Cruel Sadist. Basically, there for the black, pay 1, put a 1/1 counter on it. So that'd be 2. And then remove X11 counters from Cruel Sadist and deals X damage to target creature. Just a little bit of removal. We'll see if it makes it in there. It's pretty weak. All right, land. Villas is pretty good. You're bit of removal, a lot of drawing cards with Villas. Land, glass, cast, heart. They're basically to make more vampires with lifelink. There's a little bit of blood tokens that you can get going, but it's really just there for creating the tokens. Night's Whisper, Swamp. Oh, this is Landfall, Black White Landfall Verrak as well. So it's like a swing of vampires, landfall, and a little bit of life gain in there. So landfall, create a creature. So landfall, Obnixilis, draining them for 3 +1s. Dousing Dagger. I like this as a ramp card whenever your commander has flying. And so Verrak has flying. You slide it on him turn 4. So Verrak turn 3, Dousing Dagger turn 4. They get a couple of that, and then you go and attack, flip it, and you have 3 mana, 3 extra mana. It's a great ramp card in anything that has evasion. So, maybe I should think about Dousing Dagger in Feather as well, but Feather's getting old. Land, Talisman. So Sunbound is the same idea as what like Cradle of Vitality is going on. Whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. So you slide it on Verrak, you attack, gain life, gets bigger, and just bigger and bigger per turn. So I like what's going on there. Forsworn Paladin, basically creating the treasures. So 2 life, create 2 treasures. Not bad, but it's on point. Land. Wayfarer's Bauble, land, Swiftfoot Boots, Arguel's Bloodfast, 2 mana, 4 life, draw 2 cards. You don't want to do a lot of that, but I have found that with the landfall, I tend to churn through the deck pretty quick and need a lot of draw. So I don't love it, but it's cheap and I can do it. Children of Corliss is there to gain life when I've lost life. Gonti's Machinations is there to gain some life and then also get energy counters, profit. I don't know. Land, Malakir Blood Witch is everybody loses life, you gain life type card. So it's kind of like a Kokusho, but more on theme. So I'd rather do that. And the ETB versus a death trigger. Land, Gray Merchant, ETB versus the death trigger. I don't think I have many sack outlets for Kokusho to be amazing. And also I don't want it to turn it into that kind of deck necessarily. Because I know people are sick of that shit. Feast and Famine is just to untap your land. Solemn is great value. Nighthawk Scavenger, flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, kind of in theme there. Vampire as well. Top, Signet, Crucible of Worlds. Like I said, it's a landfall, so replaying your fetches work. So if you go to sacrifice it, pay 1 life, pay a second life, go and get 2 lands. It's pretty sweet. Terrain Generator, just getting basics into play. Callous Blood Mage is ETB, basically there to draw cards, is a vampire. Not too bad. Strands of Night can get creatures back, paying 4 life. Phyrexian Reclamation, paying 4 life, get 2 creatures back in your hand. Yawgmoth, pay 1 life, sacrifice a creature, so really pay 2, draw 2 cards, 2/-1s. That's pretty sweet. That is a second. Just Westfall Abbey is pay 1 life, so that can be doubled. Trove Warden is a landfall, bringing stuff back from the graveyard. Land, Graves, land, Revival, but it's really the revenge. Double your total life total. Target opponent loses half their life total. So with Sunbound, you cast this card, Verrak, you gained, double your life, so it gets huge, and then you gain more life. So that's a fun little thing that I was going for. Faladar Retreat is landfall. Light of the Promise, gaining life, puts 1/1 counters on that creature. Put that many. Yep. Mind Stone, land, fetch, Heirloom Mirror. Just there for the doubling of the effect. Discard a card, draw a card. I don't have to discard 2 cards. So it's draw 2 cards, mill 2 cards, then put a ritual counter on it. If it has 3 or more ritual counters on it, remove them, transform it. Transforms into a 4/4 with an ability, flying demon. But just there to have that theme going. Cards I don't use a lot. Viscera Seer is a vampire, sack outlet, land. Not getting a lot here, am I? Sturge is here for the paying life, drawing 2 cards. Esper Sentinel is there to draw cards. Walking Atlas allows me to put land into play. Is that? I guess. I think I'm going to cut Kakusho right now. I don't even want it. I'd rather have Exsanguinate in here. Crypt Gas is doubling the swamps. Rebuff the Wicked is protection. Asha's Favor turns Verrak into a first strike, vigilance, death touch, lifelink, flying beast. Righteous Aura is preventing damage. Generous Gift, removal. Teferi's protection. Vindicate is removal. Destroying target permanent. It's not a bad deal. Maybe I can do like Witch of the Moors, potentially. Admonition Angel is landfall removal. Retreat to Hagra is probably what's going in here, except instead of Bantu's Monument. And that landfall. Yeah. Razaketh, land. Priest of Fell Rites, brings stuff back. Retreat. Haunt of Agnes is fantastic in here. Whenever you pay life, put that many blood counters on it, and then you can pay 2, remove 4, destroy target creature. You'll be able to do that a lot. Loris is here because I do sacrifice. There are creatures that sacrifice themselves that I can bring back with Loris. Bit of life link there. But it's not. I don't think it's super necessary. I like it. Creates another one of those. Pay 2, draw 2 cards. But maybe I like Street Wraith in that place. It's a free like a free draw with the 2 life. And then I have enough cards in here that can bring creatures back from the graveyard and or into my hand, like Reclamation. It's just a nice little cantrip. Now, paying a black 4 life, drawing 2 cards is probably better than this. That's a good question. Good question. Or would I rather have something that... that is a good question. Let's see here. Maybe. We're getting down to the last little bit here, though. A cantrip with Wall of Omens. Mary Shepherd is landfall, bringing stuff back. Land. Selfless Survivor, one of those creatures that stack themselves but protect. And Signet, Soul Ring, Selfless Spirit is, same thing. Underworld Connections, taps, pay a life, draw a card, draw 2 cards, pay 2 life. Core Cartographer. Is that something that I care about? I don't have a lot of removal in here. Blood Tribute is one of those gain a bunch of life type thing. Oh boy. Vampire Nighthawk is another one of those. Let me choose. This is one that I might be willing to get rid of. Each creature you control with flying, death touch, and or lifelink get +1/+0 until end of turn. Flying, death touch, lifelink. This might actually be all right in Zangief because everything else has death touch. Sacrifices a creature. Each player sacrifices a creature. I don't know if I like that part. You draw a card and you lose a life. So I could draw a card, transform. I might be willing to. Cradle Vitality feels cool, powerful. I don't think I can get. I don't have a lot of removal there, which is brutal. Well, this did not help me. I was moving real good there for a bit. Now I'm struggling. Let's see here. All right. Excuse me. I think maybe Witch of the Moors instead of Greed or instead of Street Wraith. Just thinking that, I have a bit of life gain in here. So and then that ends up being removal, which is nice, and bringing some stuff back. It's kind of doing more than just drawing cards. If I figure out if Street Wraith can just go in, like it probably just replaces a basic land or some shit. But I think Greed might be all right with Witch of the Moors. Might be all right with that. And I do like the idea of Cradle of Vitality, just getting some of these guys real big. And so I think we do that. And then we'll have to see if I have actual mana left over to have it trigger. That'd end up being like the part. X11 counters from Crusadus. Oh, that could be kind of interesting too, though. So Cruel Sadist, like if I'm gaining life with Cradle Vitality and give them the counters, I can tap it, remove X counters, and deal X damage to target creature. Repeatable removal. That's kind of neato. And it's more on theme than Witch of the Moors. And it's cheaper. And I like it. I still like these cards. So if I was going to do... Oh, actually, that's a really good point. Okay, let's go back over that one more time, a little bit faster. I dig these in there. So some of those cards that are just like life gain, can come out for something like Exsanguinate and Hunger. Wayfarer's Bauble. So some of these artifact sacks are really nice with Lurrus as well. I think that's why I kept them in there, to be able to bring them back, not just creatures. Now, if it was just creatures, I'd be fine. Like Lurrus could be cut, but I do have artifacts and some of these auras that I can bring back. Maybe not this one, but let's just be a little half-ass quick about that, huh? Phyllis. All right. Let's go there. I like the idea of the Death Touch or the Lifelink flyers. I like those in there. They don't have to be amazing, but I like them in there. Feast and Famine. Gray Merchant is getting me some life gain there. Same thing with Malakir. Like Malakir, it's a half-ass vampire. So like when this comes into play, it's normally Verrak, Malakir, and then like 2 other vampires, which isn't a bad thing. So Gonti's Machination was definitely the card that I was thinking of. And let's put that in with the Exsanguinate or the Hunger. Hunger, the ancient one, works a little bit more since it was my it's the vampire secret lair. So let's make that work a little bit, huh? Even though that doesn't matter one iota. Crypt Gas is awesome in here. Walking Atlas is a ramp card. Is that just something that I'd rather have? Oh, but I have the landfall, right? Yeah. Yeah. I have the landfall. I'm drawing maybe enough cards. I don't know. Esper, Sturge. Yeah. Promise, Felidar. Let's see here. Do we know if cycling is actually that's not activating an ability? I'm pretty sure that's not activating ability. Trove Warden. But that would be my question. Like Street Wraith goes in if it's just a straight, like I can pay 4 life, discard it, draw 2 cards. I would like that. But I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Blood Tribute. All right. Core Cartographer. It's just 4 mana. That's manas. It's just another, it's like another Solemn Simulacrum. We'll work with that. That's not too bad. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think so. Thank you, Renshai, for confirmation. Cycling is not an activated ability. So it would not trigger twice with Verrak and Street Wraith. Just looks like it. This seems more like a Night's Whisper. Is I guess the question would be is it not an activated ability when you do like casting something from the graveyard? You know, like shoot. What's the flashback for creatures? Unearth? Is Unearth not an activated ability? Let's see here. Cantrip. Lurrus. Yeah, so Unearth. Landfall. Protection. I'm okay getting rid of Street Wraith, but I do like these 4 still in there. I think this is one that we'll still keep around, and probably next round when I don't want to be moving so fast, I can rethink about them a little bit more. And that's okay. All right. I'd say that one's ready. Let's put that away. Let's go Oscar. Don't have a lot here. Probably more just stuff I want to try and fit in. So Oscar's pretty sweet, but Vigilance, you can pay 1, sacrifice a creature. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end turn, and then you can pay X, tap it, exile an artifact card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create 2 tokens that are copies of the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. So you're bringing stuff back. Playing a lot of artifacts, so Dig Site Engineer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you can pay 2 and put a construct into play. I've been needing more aggression from this deck. I draw a lot of cards, but need more oomph. The Reaver Cleaver, trying here, thinking that I can boost with the +2/+0 stuff, and then the Trample, get more treasures. Sardian Avenger, first strike trample. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until on a turn, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. I do have Mycosynth Lattice in here, so this guy gets crazy. But also, whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to that player. And then also, one that I saw in some of Jesus's lists on the Discord, Gold Hound. This is a red and first strike menace, and then you can it's an artifact, it's a treasure dog, and then you can sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color. So it's a ramp spell. It's something that sacrifices itself, and I can bring back with Oscar. Doubt it can be very aggressive, but it all kind of works potentially together. Let's see here. We'll see. I paid a lot for those Reaver Cleavers. I got 2 of them. Card Sphere, but still. You don't want to spend $30 and be like, it's not good enough. Not going to do anything for me. Okay. Land, Idol of Oblivion. Plenty of tokens coming into play to draw cards. Rings of Bright Earth. There to copy Oscar. Tap, Lotus Petal is just free ramp in this deck. 1,000-Year Elixir is to untap Oscar, but might not need that. It's good. It allows me to tap Oscar with the haste right away. Dispatch is removal. Land. Sculpting Steel is kind of fun, but it's these kind of cards are kind of iffy, I guess. So I'm willing to, if there isn't like a definite plan with that kind of card, I don't know how to goldfish with it, I guess. Land. Portal to Phyrexia is there. ETBs, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures, and then at the beginning of upkeep, put target creature card from graveyard on the battlefield. Annoying Procession doubles the amount of tokens that Oscar creates. Land. Mycosynth Lattice, like I said. So whenever a Sardian Avenger attacks, it gets goddamn 20, 30, 40, 1 first strike trample. It gets to be huge. Treasure Vault is an artifact. Inspiring Statuary allows you to ramp hardcore in this kind of deck because there are plenty of non-artifact spells. Sleeper Dart, something sacrifice, Soul Ring, Wedding Invitation, ETB draw. Same thing with Sleeper Dart. So they're doing something. So sacrifice Wedding Invitation. Target creature can't be blocked this turn if it's a that part. But you can pump up a creature. It can't be blocked and pump up with the Oscar. And then this one keeps creatures tapped. They're both pretty sweet. Pull from Eternity is vital. Since I'm getting rid of all those artifacts, I can pull from Eternity back into the graveyard. Hellkind Igniter is one of those late game ending things, and maybe Sardian is just a little bit different, better, I guess, maybe. That's a good question. So Hellkite gets +X/+0 until end of turn for each artifact you control, and Sardian Avenger is much cheaper, and it gets +X/+0 for free for each of their artifacts. And then also has the added bonus of just like sitting around potentially and just treasures deal them damage. Um, Crashing Drawbridge gives haste. Lean in Elder gains a lot of life. Illusionist Bracers doubles the Osgir trigger. I think the Sardian Avenger would be a good switch for Hellkite Igniter. I'm digging that. Copying the ability to create, four tokens instead of two. Yeah. Mishra's Bauble. Goblin Engineers putting something into the graveyard. Lightning Greaves. Search for the premises, putting a bunch of clues into play. Hellkite Tyrant can win you the game. I guess can lose you the game if they steal it. Karn shuts stuff down with the lattice. Generous Gift is great removal. Faithless Looting is getting stuff into the graveyard. Goblin Welder, yeah. Steel Hellkite is also great. I like that a lot better than that. Like just the removal. Path to Exile, Panharmonicon. Because a lot of my artifacts, when they come into play, are going to trigger. So artifacts and creatures you're entering. So that doubles up. Not a bad deal. You can also sacrifice it to make 2 Panharmonicons. Inkmoth Nexus there for a potential game ender. You turn it has infect, and then you can pump them with Osgir potentially to just action a one person. Swords Plowshare. Vandal Blast with Lattice. Like Lattice is really important in this deck if you want to like try and win the game real quick. But Vandal Blast is sweet. Arkham's Astrolab is just cheap draw. Treasure Nabber steals. Ugin's Nexus is allowing you to take extra turns. Now, it's awesome, but I can see people getting pissed about it. Like just bored. I guess bored. Because what you can do is if it's in the graveyard, you bring it back with Osgir. The Legends rule sacrifices one. You got to sacrifice the other, and then you got 2 in a row. There's some potential there. Angel of Ruins is crazy good. Bronze Guardian. Yeah, Chaos Warp. Oswald Fiddlebender. Probably statue's pretty sweet too. That's just like another sacrifice outlet on top of not losing stuff. Yeah, Oswald works in here. Let's see here. Top Soul Guy and Lantern. Cursed Mirror is pretty sweet. Consulate Crackdown is an awesome card as well. If you have Lattice out, it just removes all of their stuff. Land, Solemn, solid. Borrow's Charm, a little bit of protection. Mystic Forge, playing off the top. Swiftfoot Boots. Hey, Renshy. Tibalt's Trickery. I have it in the deck. Could probably have Bolt Bend in here too, but maybe I'll just cut it. Just kidding. Ornithopter Paradise, Wayfarer's Bauble, Teferi's Protection, Mind Stone, Ichor Wellspring, Esper Sentinel, Mycosith Lands. Chandra's Ignition is in here for the target creature you control deals. So you can pump up one of the creatures with Osgir and then Chandra's Ignition and do a lot of damage that way. Just a thought. And then Reckless Fireweaver is there to deal damage whenever an artifact comes in a battlefield. So I like that. That does a little damage. So Avengers going in, Hellkite's getting taken out. I think it's just cheaper. I don't doubt it. I very much believe you'll get me. I think I like 1,000-Year Elixir in here. That works. I don't have a lot of untapping, so I'm fine with that. All right, where are we going with this? I think Ugin's Nexus is a good card in here. Don't just take it out willy-nilly. I want to put the Reaver Cleaver in there. I have a feeling that'll be solid here. And then I want to do, I can get rid of Sculpting Steel and put Dig Site Engineer in play. And I'm going to go back through real quick to see if I can find a spot for Goldhound. Because I think it's perfect in this deck. I just don't know if I totally need it. First Strike, Menace, tap to add. Like, I have plenty of. So looking for like a mana spot. I don't know if I need Pull from Eternity anymore. Because that was for the Ugin's Nexus to do it a couple times. That's a decent question. That is a decent question. Maybe. All right. Crashing, Leonin, Buck, Sleeper Dart, Soul Ring. Let's see here. Dispatch. Like, I have Lotus Petal. That'll make sense. Maybe. Yeah. Chaos Warp, Vandal Blast. Astrolab. Treasure Napper's awesome. Steel Hellkite. I should get a foil version of that. Right? Faithless Looting. Karn's a lockdown piece with Lattice as well. Just a lot of cards in here working with Lattice, and I like that. Search the Premises is there for. Pull from Eternity just doesn't really need it anymore, I don't think. Like, that's the big thing. Normally, I don't like that just being there anyway. Because it's really only there for Nexus, other than, like, I can pull something back and do it again. Like, it works with everything. But the main reason why it's there is gone now. Let's get Pull from Eternity out of there and Goldhound in. All right. And that's Oscar right there. We're on a good clip. We got 2 more decks left. And we'll save Alela for last. We'll do Kelsien. That's just kind of Machine Gun Kelsien. All of these decks you can look at our Mox Field, and we have all the deck lists. Maybe not updated at that point, but you can get a general idea. So let's take a look at this, huh? Tokens. Plenty of tokens in this one, huh? This one is a deck I go back and forth thinking that maybe I should cut it and get rid of it. Because what it does is it can kill everybody's creatures. But again, it's something that lacks a way of winning, which is maybe something that I do poorly. Kelsien, Vigilance, Haste 2/2. It gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have. It taps to deal 1 damage to target creature. And if that creature dies, you get an experience counter. So looking to add in Rose Room Treasurer. So it's 4 mana. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token if this is the first and second time. If it's not the first or second time, you can pay X and it deals X damage to any target. I don't have a lot of creatures that come into here, but being able to just get treasures, it's more maybe a ramp, but also I have ways to give that death touch, and I can just go like 1 ping, boom. Life Insurance, Extort. which is nice. But whenever a non-token creature dies, you lose a life and create a treasure token. Also not bad. Falthus, commanders you control have menace and death touch. So giving Kelsien death touch is nice. The menace also is nice. Retreat to Hagra. It has landfall, giving death touch, and also just a little bit more extra. Termination Facilitator. This is 2 mana for a 1/3. Tap, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker. Activate only as a sorcery. And then whenever a creature with a bounty counter on it is dealt damage, destroy it. So well, we'll see. We'll see. It taps, and then I would need Kelsien to kill it. It might be okay. Uh Legamos, Hand of Hatred. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, create a 2/1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Or you can tap it, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only if 5 or more creatures die this turn. I have points where I have plenty of creatures dying, and so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it finds a spot. Minthara, Merciless Soul. Ward X, where X is the number of experience counters you have, which is cool. And then at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, you get an experience counter. Creatures get +1/+0 for each experience counter you have. So it's potentially, it works with experience counters. Oh, what is this one? I don't remember the name of it, but basically what it is if any creature dies, you can have that any player take damage for the amount of cards they have in their hand. It's a cool card. It's always been a little bit expensive, but I've always wanted to get it in here. We'll see. We'll see if it works. All right. Land. Mary the Killing Quill gives Kelsien Death Touch, which is nice, and then also like a little bit of draw, stuff like that. So it works. Tome of Legends also works as a draw spell. Really, Tome of Legends is really good with your aggressive commanders because like it ETBs with Kelsien, puts a counter on it or a token counter, and then you can attack with Kelsien because it has haste. Put another one on there, and it's just really aggressive. You're never gonna fall behind on that one. Angie Falconwrath is there for like a draw discard bit. I don't think I have any untapping here. Discard a card if it had Manus. I might like the life insurance a little bit better here. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Mahida, you get a treasure for each creature that dies this turn. That works. Uh, t- Tallyman of Nurgle. 2/3 lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, draw a card and lose 1 life. If 7 or more died, draw 7, lose 7. So I think I'm going to be able to draw plenty of cards here. Probably at least 1 per turn, but it's not too bad. Land, read the bones for some draw. Land, Knight's Whisper, another one there. Oh, let's go back. Land. Scalding Salamander. Give it Death Touch. Give it attack. Deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. It's gonna kill everything. Humble Defector. Drawing cards. Easy to kill. Painful Truth. Also drawing cards. Basilisk Collar gives Kelsien Death Touch, which is nice. And any of the other pingers in here. Esper Sentinel. Anguished Unmaking for removal. Dingus Staff. 2 damage whenever a creature goes into the graveyard. I don't dislike that either. Talisman, land. Drum Bellower is an untapper. Oh, so that is kind of nice with Angie. Probably not as nice as life insurance. Drum Bellower is going to be nice in here, though. I mean, that's just 4. All right, maybe. Curse of Opulence is nice. Plarg is there. Discard a card, draw a card, reveal cards from the top, and then the backside is relevant? Question mark. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other untapped get +0/+1. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Yeah. So the tapping, there's another untapper. That's not bad. It's not bad. Being Fire Border Post, Runner's Gift, Stoneforge Mystic for that Death Touch equipment out there. Another one, Vorpal Sword, Death Touch. Divining Top, Soul Ring, land. Ronin Cliff Rider is the same, like whenever it attacks, deals 1 damage to each creature defending player controls. I got one more in here for that too. Blood for the Blood God is pretty sweet, but reduces the cost by 1 for each time a creature dies. Then discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. I got to do this when I recorded with this, but I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, we'll keep it. It's sweet. Touch of the Moon Glove. So Death Touch, and whenever a creature dies, they lose 2 life. Not bad. Morbid Opportunist, another one that's going to draw off of creatures dying once per turn. I don't think that's going to make it, and I don't think that's going to make it. I don't think that's going to make it either. Let's not overthink this. I like my current pingers because they're able to do a lot. So Rose Room might struggle there as well. Ruinous Ultimatum is getting rid of stuff. Chaos Warp, Talisman, Assault, Intercessor. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. That was pretty good. Goblin Sharpshooter is another pinger that I like in here. Defiler. Defiler of Instinct. Whenever you cast a red permanent spell, deals 1 damage to any target. I can pay 2 life for any red spell, permanent spell. That's 4/4 for a strike. I'd probably like that over Minthara. Or like Minthara in there. I think Minthara is going to allow me to get a boost. Yeah. Talisman. Heliod's Intervention is just kind of a nice blow up a lot of stuff. Quite a spike. Was one of those cards to like speed things up a little bit too. But also Death Touch. I don't hate it. Gift of Doom is nice protection plus Death Touch. Phyrexian Reclamation. Death Touch on Deathbringer Thopter is a constant kill everything. Massacre Worm. Creatures dying. They lose 2 life. Mana Crypt. Boots. Land. Blacksmith's Skill is a protection spell, and I agree with that. Gadrick is putting treasures in play whenever creatures die. Not a bad deal. So what's the question here? I have 2 things that can untap? Control 4 more artifacts. Each non-token creature that died this turn. Yeah. Pitiless Plunder. It's kind of nice. Another Tybalt's Trickery. Look, see? I'm getting it in there. Strionic Resonator can either copy the it copies the trigger for the experience counter. Tybalt's Trickery or any other ETBs. Yeah. Giving Goblin Sharpshooter Death Touch is pretty sweet. Tybalt's Trickery, Land Tax, Ruin of Mortality, Death Touch, draw a card. Land, Arcane, Deflecting Swat for some protection, Thornbite Staff to untap my Kelsien when he's going off. That's also pretty nice. Swath Cutter Giant. 1 damage to each creature when it attacks. Archaeomancer's Mask. Zagras, Thief of Heartbeat. Giving everything I control Death Touch. Reconnaissance allows me to untap Kelsien. Agent of the Shadows gives Death Touch an indestructible land. Okay, so one of the things, Retreat to Hagra, I think just goes away. Although I do like it. Okay, so one thing that I am having a problem with is I do like this here. I like Angie being able to potentially untap. I'm going to go through one more time. So I might not like the treasure creators, but I'd like Life Insurance, Rose Room over those two. They get a little bit fatter. Okay, let's do this. I like Minthara in here over Defiler of Instinct. Let's get rid of that. Just make that decision. Even though it's a pinger. Like I have enough pingers. So Minthara is gonna help. So there's I like the idea of giving that like the landfall. Oh, that's is it problematic to where it's like I don't have a land and I can't give something Death Touch? And that kind of sucks. All right. Shadow Vengeance. I think that might be what that's called now. And so do we go a little bit higher with so this is Matahai. Each creature that died this turn at the beginning of your end step. It's so specific. So that I'd rather have it be like a death trigger. Is that what I'd rather have? Yes. All right. Let's get rid of Mud High and put in Life Insurance. Let's draw and ramp and extort. Let's do it a lot. And normally it takes me a little bit of setup. So I like that. All right. Death Touch. Blood for the Blood God. Life Insurance might be a better trade for that, but then draw 8 cards and then 8 damage to each opponent. I like that. Yeah, Blood for the Blood God's pretty sweet in here. All right, Plarg is discarding and drawing a card. Not a bad thing either. Drum Bellower. Dingus Staff. Anguished Unmaking, just being able to hit whatever I need to. All right. Massacre Worm, Mana Crypt, Deathbringer Thopter. I don't oftentimes actually have a lot of creatures come into play here. So I'd have to think about that one. Let's see here. I might be okay with the thought of Gadrak still hanging around over Rose Room. But I think my problem with Mahadi is that it's not really aggressive, whereas Gadrak can hit for 5 in the air. And I think, yeah. So Gadrak 5/4. I'm gonna have the artifacts likely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And we'll get rid of these two and we'll keep Angie. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. Keeping Angie. There we go. All right, one left. Alela, hour and a half. Not doing too bad. We've gone through 5 decks so far. We got one left. This is probably the big one here, but it's also probably going to be the hardest to switch out. I've had this one for a while too. All right. All right. So Alela, flying death touch, lifelink. Whenever other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. Whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So artifacts, enchantments with flying. Let's go. All right, first beat. Merchant Dockhand. Creature, artifact. You can pay for, tap it, tap X untapped artifacts you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. That's now that I'm thinking about it, that 4 is a lot, plus the untapping of other creatures or other artifacts. That's well, we'll keep it around, but I'm probably gonna cut that pretty quick. And then Kaya Geist Hunter. Creatures you control gain death touch until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter on up to one target creature. This is here for the -2. Until end of turn, if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. -6, exile all cards from all graveyards, then create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying for each exiled card this way. We'll see. That's another one that's kind of maybe, kind of meh. This one is the Galaxy Foils, so I'm going to switch in Ash Barrens and Fabled Passage. Then I'm going to try and get Command Beacon and Strip Mine in. Because this one does have the basic lands that are Galaxy Foils. Man, you can't fucking see it through here. That's bad sleeves. Bad sleeves. There we go. See? So. Okay. I just wasn't angling it. All right. All right. So I'm going to aim to get those in. I'm not going to struggle through that though. And then the Might Stone and Weak Stone, which is artifact, and then basically hoping it's either removal or drawing 2 cards. And then also Urza Lord Protector. Artifacts cost 1 less. This is heavy artifact. And then you can merge them. You may activate the loyal twice each turn rather than only once. And then all that stuff. I'll let you read that, but that's if one goes in, the other goes in, if that makes sense. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus, got this secret layer. I have a proxy in there. I'll just switch this in. Surge Engine, artifact creature that has, a bunch of stuff on it. So, Platoon Dispenser, artifact creature that has on Earth, but also creates tokens and then draws extra cards. We'll see if that works in there. And then Liberator, Urza's Battle Thopter. It is an artifact creature, flying flash. You may cast colorless spells with artifact spells as though they had flash. And then whenever you cast a spell with the amount of mana spent to cast that spell is greater than Liberator, put a 1/1, or greater than its power, put a 1/1 counter on it. So that one's going to go into. Let's see how this deck goes. All right, last one. Soul Guide Lantern, Smothering Tithe, Land, Thopter Foundry, Inkmoth Nexus. Now that's something that could potentially come out. I don't have any real pumps other than maybe that could go. That could potentially come out. Spellstutter Sprite is great protection. Land. Refine is a draw discard. It has flying. I'd probably rather have that than Platoon Dispenser. Can't be blocked. 5/4. Draw 3 cards. All right. Not even sure if I care about that flash. We'll see. Rafine, maybe. Biotransference turns all of my creatures into artifacts when I cast it. So it will trigger Alela a lot. Heliod's Intervention is nice removal. Scrubland, removing. I think I have Lattice in here as well, just more of the black, white, blue hate variety. Consulate Crackdown. Safara gives all the flyers indestructible. Mox Opal, land. Urza is a big mana rock in here. A little bit of draw. All right, Lattice is in here, like I was saying. Land. Sculptor. I mean, that's my two main ones. I want those in. Everything else is eh. Surge Engine is potentially something that I like. Bringing everything back. Solemn. Drawing cards off of Adelkin Archmage. Drawing Catacomb. Inspiring Statuary. Land. Kindred Discovery. Plenty of draw that way. Ash Barrens. Let's switch that out. For the prettiness. There we go. Skull Clamp Plains. All right. So Foundry Inspector could be cut for Urza. All right, with that idea. Land, crashing drawbridge. There's that Tezzeret. Let's cut that and get that Tezzeret into play. I don't know about you, but this Tezzeret, these old school wording planeswalkers are fucking awful. And it's funny, but look at that shit. I don't know. I'm going to keep this Tezzeret just as like a token on the side so I can fucking read it. That's what's going to happen there. Chroma's Will. Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, is crazy in here as well. Wayfarer's Bauble. Land, Inscribed. Tablet. All right, let's say Urza's Whatnot. It's cool in here. So we need the Might Stone and Weak Stone. Refine's just going to be better. I don't think that's something that I care about. Inscribed Tablet. I have a feeling. All right. Zoop. Have those. Inscribed Tablet. Aura of Silence. No, it's not nearly the Might Stone, but it might be a spot for it. Grazilax, Anointed Procession, Land, Mirror Maid. I like that a lot better here than this Sculpting Steel on the other one. Sort of the Meek, Nettle Cyst, Grand Architect. That's a lot of ramp. Oh, Tezzeret, Artificer Master is something that I have not cared for very much. Shimmer Dragon, I like that. Land. Baleful Strix is nice. Asha's Favor, another one. Death Touch, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Flying. Does a lot of work in this one. Same thing with Verrak. Swiftfoot, Archetype of Courage, giving the Death Touch Alela First Strike. Talisman, Divining Top. Plains, Talisman, Land. Starheim Cursor reduces artifacts and enchantments by 1. Land. Spellskite should be in all your blue decks. It's such a good card. Westfall Abbey is sacrificing creatures to flip a big old fatty. Land. Drawing cards off of Coastal Piracy. Faithful Devotion protecting, sacrificing the fairies, protecting Alela, not bad. Winter's Fair, Esper Sentinel. Eldrazi Monument is nice protection. Reconnaissance Mission. Swamp, Land. Rumor Gatherer. I'd have to pay 4, but yeah, I have a little bit more. That might be something. I'm surprised I found something there. So this allows me to be at instant speed, and then it gets bigger. But like a lot of my stuff, amount of mana to spend to cast this spell is greater. Leonin Sun Standard has been, I think it's pretty underrated for Swarm decks, but creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. That's pretty nice. All that glitters. Cranial Plating, Idol, Ornithopter, Vault, Emery, Combat Research is nice little protection and draw. Did I pass right over Fabled Passage? That's some protection. All right. So for now, I'm going to get Urza in for Foundry Inspector. We will get, let's see here. I'm going to take out Tezzeret and put in the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. Just like I said, like five mana for this has been a bit disappointing here. Like it can draw me cards, but the Might Stone is probably just more versatile. What are your suggestions? Hear me out. God damn it. And plenty of artifacts. So it's a ramp spell. This does a lot of work in here. I like this one here. And then let's get rid of Rumor Gatherer. I'm probably going to regret that. Like there's a lot of value that can be had with Rumor Gatherer. But this can potentially dig. What am I doing? I think that's just a bad card. Well, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Rumor Gatherer is just good. All right. Let's see here. Surge Engine. Pay a blue. Can't be blocked. Loses defender. Pay 3. Becomes a 5/4. Draw 3 cards. Activate only if it's blue and only once. So it becomes a 5/4 into unblockable. Can't be blocked. After 4, 5, 6 mana. That's just a lot, isn't it? That's just a lot. Creature. Create a. And I do have some things there. I do probably like this. Let's cut those two and see if we got one more spot for that Platoon Dispenser. It's a slow draw, but all right, we're gonna put that there. All right, and I gotta find Fabled Passage. I don't know what's going on there. Ash Barrens, and I'm looking for something. Platoon Dispenser. I don't think I want to necessarily cut Aura of Silence for that, but let's look at maybe some other slower draw. Kindred Discovery is just gonna get me there. Urza, Mycosynth, Ethereum Sculptor is nice. Brilliant Restoration, just in case I get Wrath. There's that Fabled Passage I thought I missed. All right. Pretty, pretty. And then since I found that, let's make I'm going to cut Inkmoth Nexus. And we'll put in Command Beacon. Just because. People do target Alela. Oh, Inkmoth Nexus can win me games though too. I have some of those pump cards in there. That's what I was forgetting. Oh boy. Oh boy. Might not be able to fit those two in there, but that was not always the plan, but I understood I wasn't going to be able to use those two. I use Ash Barrens and Fabled Passage in every deck. So it's not something crazy here. Yeah. Rafine is going to be a draw, a lot of discard. Do I care for that? Is that maybe what we're thinking? It gets me to see a lot of cards. Flying Ward 1. I can put counters on a creature. I have a little bit of little bit of graveyard with Emery and that restoration card. Not a lot though. We'll keep it. Tezzeret. The thing is that's not really draw, but that's just one. 2 or more other creatures draw a card. For 4/6, that can get me more tokens, which isn't necessarily what I need either. Jesus fucking Christ, that Tezzeret's ugly as shit. Let's see here. Let's going pretty quick here. Let's see. Coastal Piracy is nice. I don't know. I don't know. Shimmer Dragon. Mirror Maid. Mirror Maid's been nice. Yeah. Anointed. I can move through this deck pretty quick. Yeah, this does everything that I want it to do. No fear. Combat research just kind of goes on Alela. Eldrazi. Yeah, I don't think I did not add in what I thought it was going to be able to do. And that's okay. All right. That stays in. That's going to be that. Well, that's that for tonight, I think. Let's call it. We're doing all right, but if I had maybe 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes from 2 hours, I'd probably do one more deck. I could probably just skip it. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. I appreciate the banter and the chatter. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you're new, subscribe, por favor. And Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks a ton. Bye.